And welcome back. We are finishing up a couple easy wilderness tasks here. That is picking up 5 red spider's eggs. And this is killing an earth warrior. Over here we do have access to Vanica, a new Slayer master. Don't know how much Slayer we're going to be doing right now, but at the very least we have... Okay, Hellhounds, we can actually do that task, but for right now we still have a little bit more exploring to do. If we crawl through this pipe here, we do have access to the Varrock sewers, and I'm going to go kill some Bryophyta. I'm going to go kill the Moss Giant boss. With the keys that I've collected, we do have some tasks to do here. I've actually never killed this boss before, since, you know, that's the whole point of the premise of this. So this is actually my first time ever killing this boss in the entirety of RuneScape. And this is going to take a little bit of time, so let me just go ahead and fast forward towards the end of the kill here. Alright, and there is 1 KC. Not too bad. Honestly, pretty chill, pretty easy. I mean, this is a pretty low level boss, and we do get a nice beginner clue scroll here. There isn't really too much that we actually want or need from this boss outside of just the completion tasks. Anyway, with that KC done, let's go ahead and go kill one of these Hellhounds. That is also a combat task, and our first Slayer level, so that is pretty exciting that this is Slayer unlocked on the account, and I will probably just be 3-iteming here. I do not want to be risking anything in the deep wilderness. This is a strange little assortment of clips. Here we are wearing our full ham outfit, doing a little thieving. That is an easy task in Artie. Should be able to steal from this silk stall. I can't sell it to the merchant directly, but give me like 30 minutes and I can finish up that task. Here we are wrapping up Tribal Totem. This quest is just some decent thieving XP, nothing too crazy, but it's another quest that we can do, so. Probably the least used wizard for mining essence. While we are on the way, we may as well pick some bananas from our banana tree. It's a quick little farming clip, even though we're not replanting the tree. This is basically a waste of time, but hey, free XP. And that is the end of Tribal Totem. Doing a quick little bit of crafting here, we can actually make dodgy necklaces with our opals, so that's what I'm doing here. Make opal necklaces, and then you can use the level 1 enchant jewelry to turn those necklaces into dodgy necklaces, which helps with thieving, which, I mean, I like thieving, it's what I do, so this will be useful. And now, putting our necklaces to the test, we are going to be pickpocketing some more Knights of Artie, and hopefully our dodgy necklaces will help us avoid getting bonked. I think it's like a 50-50 chance, and then if you do manage to successfully avoid it, it does absorb one of the charges. Since we did unlock the Sears Village rooftop course, I will be progressively working on this. As I am Skylar from the future, I can tell you right now that I get super burned out on this, and this is one of the factors of me stopping playing, but that is a mark of grace. And this is me selling back that silk that we stole earlier. That is another easy task for Artie. I got a little bored with the monotony and decided to pickpocket paladins for a little bit. This is very inefficient, but I just wanted a change of pace, and that is 73 thieving. This is the correct way to pickpocket, is just to go into one of these rooms here and spam click on one of these knights here. And with that little pickpocket right there, that is 74 thieving. Another place to pickpocket, probably the more common one, is this bank. There's usually someone like splashing in this area, but either way, again, it's you're just mashing the keys. Anyway, that is 76 thieving. This is pretty much all I've been doing, is just AFKing and smashing my mouse button on these guys. And that is 100k from pickpocketing. And that is 77 thieving. And with this clip right here, after lots of hours of thieving from these knights, we have just hit 78 thieving. And I will let my friend who was on a Discord call with me take it away.
Woo, yeah! Woo! Crognats! Woo! There's so many people there.
You can always count on a pile of group Iron Men stuck doing menial labor to have very interesting conversations. So, a little late on the draw, but shout out to this group Iron Man. We have come up on our next level, and that is 79 thieving. 21 days, 1 hour on the account. Almost got our next 100k just from pickpocketing. Okay, and clearing out that nice round 100k, we are going to put all those into the bank. As you can see from my inventory, we are going to be using the poison chalices to go pickpocket a hero. It is 80 thieving to pickpocket from a hero, but with the +1 boost from the poison chalice that you can potentially get, we should be able to, if we get lucky, pickpocket one of these guys. And did not get the roll there. Let's go ahead and try it again. And we didn't get it, so we're gonna need to go buy more poison chalices. Awkward, I'll be right back. Okay, with a fresh supply of poison chalices, we should be able to get it this time. Okay, that did take a little while, but we did get it. Of course, we immediately failed the pickpocket, because these guys are pretty hard. Hopefully we can... Okay, we failed again. Hopefully we do get the pickpocket before our stats drain. Alright, 3 fails, 4th time's the charm? Surely we don't fail a 5th time, right? There we go. Perfect. Alright, and that is an elite arty task. That is pretty nice. Well, that was like several days of work, all compressed into a couple minutes. Yippee! And with that successful pickpocket, we can check that off of our list, and that is all of our tasks that we needed to do for this chunk. So let's go ahead and roll another one. Okay, we have the monastery or Lumbridge. I mean, this is a pretty obvious choice. We take Lumbridge here. This should unlock probably quite a few quests, probably a couple like various other tasks. Yeah, lots of quests. Okay, started Restless Ghost. Let's pickpocket a man. That is a task. It feels kind of crazy being this far into the game and finally having Lumbridge unlocked. 21 days, 2 hours, 8 minutes, arrived in this world. Okay, that number is kind of off, but, you know, we've been here a while. We, of course, need to do the best quest in the game, Cook's Assistant. The only interesting part of this quest for me is that I do not have access to the normal egg spawns, and I'm not going to kill imps to get one, so I'm actually going to Etrana to get my egg for this quest, which I don't know if anyone has ever done in the entire game, so I will be the first. And there it is, our egg that we need. There's also a kebab that spawns here again, don't know why, but let's teleport back to Lumbridge and finish the iconic quest that is Old School RuneScape. Of course, we will then start the better quest that we are actually here for, which is Recipe for Disaster. We can't do all of the parts of this yet, but Recipe for Disaster is like the turning point between like scrub to congratulations, you're like a real RuneScape player once you get through the entire thing. Like, I feel like it is the graduation point from like scrubby, like, oh, I'm new to like RuneScape membership, to, okay, like, I have Barrow's gloves, I can now like start my endgame stuff. Well, maybe not anymore because endgame's gotten a lot farther, but back in the day, that used to be like, oh my god, you're in the end game now. It's also weird talking to the Duke here, trying to do RFD while he's trying to get me to start Room Mysteries. You can actually farm infinite air talismans by dropping them and then talking to him again, which I suppose if you're doing some really fucked up locked account, you could get a lot of runecrafting XP, like making air tiaras that way. I'm not doing that, but just thought I'd point that out. We also need to start X marks the spot. We can do this entire quest, so I will do that. Again, this whole area is just lots of questing. And that's the end of X marks the spot. We are going to put this lamp into Hunter. We don't have a great way to train Hunter right now, so the closer that we can get to leveling that so that we can train it. And as a callback to my very first chunk, we are back in the Gnome Stronghold, making a blurb or some drink for Recipe for Disaster, and then we're gonna go put a bunch of nasty stuff into this. Picking up a few Greenman's Ale, and then we are gonna swing over to the hunting shop to buy out the store, since eventually we will be able to do Hunter. And since I'm here, I may as well use the portal to the Wizard's Tower so that I can go drop off this air talisman for Rune Mysteries. And we are back to turn in our disgusting drink stuff and officially kick off RFD with this wonderful cutscene that is gracefully aged and has... Honestly, it's flawless, and if you say otherwise, you're wrong. It really wouldn't be complete without the incredibly slow motion airwave blasting through all of them as like no one reacts. And then we just never acknowledge that a person within Gielinor has the ability to stop time in a localized area, and it just never comes up again as to why we can't learn this magic or use it in any other context outside of this. But with RFD complete, I am back to doing random tasks, so that is an easy task, and then this should be another medium task. And after a fair bit of gallivanting and getting things together, we have now unlocked the diving suit. There's a couple quests in the game that need the diving suit and fishbowl helm. It's pretty old, but I mean, it's fashion, I guess. I will say that I do like how the underwater areas look. I kind of wish that this was more utilized. I can't tell if I would want this place to be more utilized or less utilized, but I think it's an interesting part of RuneScape that is... No, I'm going to say it, it's underutilized. And we've been doing all of this to make the really disgusting fish cake that we need for Recipe for Disaster. So we are cutting up all this stuff, mashing all this fish together. The concept of this, I don't like fish, IRL. This sounds horrific, but if it cures somebody from being stuck in the past, cool. And with using this fish cake on Pirate Pete, we have completed our first part of Recipe for Disaster. Only 7 more to go. And with our first step of Recipe for Disaster done, we have unlocked the chest downstairs here in the basement. This has some useful food items, and obviously it will have the gloves as well, but mostly the food and bank right now is what we're really going to be using until we essentially finish all of Recipe for Disaster, which will take a very long time. And with that, we have completed this chunk's tasks. So let's go ahead and roll a new chunk. Okay, we have Barbarian Village. That seems pretty strong. And a, what is that, the southern part of... I mean, we're taking Barbarian Village. This is Stronghold of Security, which is quite a bit of content. That could be pretty useful. That's basically all of Barbarian Village. It's just good. And look at those new tasks that we now have unlocked. More quests, more new best in slot stuff, lots of cool stuff to do. But one thing that we unlocked previously is Hunter. With using that lamp, we can now hunt these woodland little creatures, and so we have actually unlocked Hunter at this point. So this will probably be my actual focus, even though that was not part of the chunk that I just rolled, but it is a backlogged task, so we can now use this Piscatoris Hunter area, and I'm kind of excited to do Hunter. I really liked Hunter, so this is probably what I'm going to be doing for a little while. As we wrap up this, I just want to say that this footage is from like April of 2023. I have probably another 5 to 6 pretty long episodes worth of footage, and then an entire series from leagues that I have recorded and that I need to edit. My membership has actually expired at this point. I am essentially so far behind on editing, and anytime I would start up my account, especially with all the new content, I just felt pretty overwhelmed, and my kind of joy for playing RuneScape has kind of died with that. So I'm really sorry that this is taking so long to edit new episodes, especially when like the footage at this point is pretty old. Hopefully that doesn't affect the enjoyment of these too much. But I just want to be honest that this footage is really old, and this has not really been a huge priority. All of 2025 has been pretty bad, like politically, and has really made it difficult for me to like appreciate my hobbies when it feels like the country that I live in is burning up, and is not a very like safe place for people like me. So sorry, and I hope you're enjoying the videos. I gonna try, and I always say that, oh, I'm gonna try and be better about editing. So I'm not gonna say that because I don't want to get your hypes up or hopes up. Maybe I'll have like one more episode. I'm actually in the process of moving, but I don't know. It's I'm hoping. I realized while I was recording years ago that the way that I was doing this was actually kind of bad. And so I think going forward, my episodes should be a little bit easier to edit because I actually like provided in person, like in the at the moment commentary. So I'm not having to like do this, 2 years later voiceover. But that's kind of where things are. So thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up or comment, engage with it. Even just you making it to the end of the video just means a lot. Again, this is a hobby at best, and I don't know. It's nice to know that when I do make something that people do at least enjoy it for what it is. Or it autoplays in your YouTube feed, which is still kind of cool. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one.